people. And just in general, the base combat of the game, very smooth. Inspired how many Roblox games? How many games have parrying now? There are games that don't need pairing that have pairing because of Deepwoken and have permadeath because of Deepwoken. Pairing and permadeath. Swear to God, you see those two in 50% of all new anime games. Archmage, originally, he's like, guys, we're done doing big updates. Okay. He wants to package the updates in smaller bits. That's fine. But I want to see that. I want to see the smaller bits be fulfilling as well, right? So if you have like, you know, like a new boss, right? I think it'd be really cool to have like a new boss, some new system, right? Can be small, right? Some new system, maybe like build items, right? New build items, I'm gonna call it, that go along with the boss, or it can even be part of the world, right? And maybe it could be like slash small relation to PvP. Let me just make it smaller. Not that much smaller. There we go. Small relation to PvP. Anything else I'm missing out on? And small world building, right? Stuff like this. I'll say like these four, right? So a new boss, some new system can be small, right? New build items, and you can expand on this a lot. Slash small relation to PvP, small world building. PvE, no, this is the PvE. We already have the PvE. You know what I mean? All right. And so the new build items, obviously, I don't have to explain that much. It could be like enchants, deep gems, weapons, oaths, etc. You get the gist, right? We've been getting these, all right? But a new boss, obviously, this is the most important, right? Some new system, right? This could have been mounts, in my opinion, right? New build item slash relation to PvP. Small world building, all right? So why do I think all these are important? No new modifiers, that would fall under new build items. That would fall under new build items. Let me explain. New boss, PvE. I don't need to explain it. PvE is big, right? PvE is important. Some new system can be small. Now, let me explain this. This is actually extremely important, in my opinion. Very important. Very important. And basically, why I think it's so important is that with a big update like a new boss, all the eyes are back on Deepwoken, right? Happens every time. Any new boss that's added, there are a bunch of eyes on Deepwoken because everybody wants to try it out, right? With a new system, it doesn't always have to be a new system entirely. It could be an expansion of something that already exists. Example, murmur paths, right? But with a new system or even a rework of a system, whatever it is, what ends up happening is that everybody in the game can feel like they can engage with the new system. Do you understand what I'm saying? With verse 2, that was Shrine of Order, shrines in general, right? You can upgrade any build. Do you see what I mean? Everybody felt like they could add on to it. So it could be Bell Evolution, Murmur Paths, old shit like even tier 2 fucking deep gems that you have to do quests to unlock, right? Whatever it is, right? Something that every build can engage with to make it feel like the game is progressing in some sort of way, and a reason to feel like you can come back on older builds potentially, or builds that you currently have, and you can think of new things that you can do with builds, right? This is much more important, in my opinion, than just new build items, because we get a lot of these. We've always gotten a lot of these. But these are very few sprinkled in between Deepwoken. We get very little of these. And what ends up happening is that this stuff, right? This stuff comes from this stuff. This allows us to have more variety in the weeklies. You see what I mean? More variety in the weeklies, right? They can add on to stuff. And in my opinion, Deepwoken's #1 strength, right? I'd say like a top 3 in Deepwoken, right? In my opinion. Oh, this is tough. Maybe top 4. Top 4, right? Top 4 things in Deepwoken, you can order them however you feel personally, right? #1, not in order, of course, but #1's like the world. The world of Deepwoken, people, bro, the world of Deepwoken is so strong, especially on Roblox. So many fucking games are based on animes entirely, literally. Fucking Type Soul, Ghoulry, whatever the fuck. But Deepwoken, entirely new world. That is rich. That is so rich on Roblox. You wouldn't believe it. Every 98% of games are probably like somehow based on some shit, right? And if it isn't based on something that is a AAA game, it's based on another Roblox game, simulators, right? But Deepwoken somehow, and Rogue Lineage 2, managed to take aspects from other games and craft an entirely new fucking thing. It's fusion. Do you see what I mean, right? It's fusion from fucking Dragon Ball Z, Patara earrings, a new entity altogether that feels unique entirely. Do you see what I mean? That's Deepwoken's, I think, one of the big 4 strengths. 2 and 3, PvP and PvE. I know a lot of people like to shit on PvP and vice versa. Usually the other side shits on the other one, but they're both strong as fuck. They're both strong as fuck. There are people who love both sides. Hate relationship, but you get what I'm saying, right? There's a reason why people want more monsters and bosses, because it's good. People fuck with it, and they think that it can get even better. PvP too. A lot of people shit on PvP, but a lot of people like interacting with the PvP, and you know what people like? They like winning, and it feels good when they win. It feels bad when you lose, but that's a lot of games. And I think balancing obviously can be better, but I think there's a lot of stuff that people fuck with the PvP for a reason. People want to think of the best way to fuck somebody up. Right, whether it be through cheese or through the most number one respect method, people still, I think there's a pleasure in trying to figure something out. And especially when you figure something out that feels unique or kind of your own secret thing, that really feels good. That appeals to a lot of people. And just in general, the base combat of the game, very smooth. Inspired how many Roblox games? How many games have parrying now? There are games that don't need pairing that have pairing because of Deepwoken and have permadeath because of Deepwoken. Pairing and permadeath. Swear to God, you see those two in fucking 50% of all new anime games. I swear to God. Pairing and fucking permadeath. And games especially where they didn't really need that. But you know, and especially, God forbid, number 3 is a bonus, they have the fucking talent system. And it'll be the fucking cards, but they'll change it up a little bit. Fuck off. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I think 2 and 3, PvP and PvP. And number 4, kind of which ties into all that, is just like the build making system in general. Very powerful, a lot of unique things that people can feel like. It kind of ties into PvP and PvE. You can say there's only really 3 and 4th is the, I'm saying right. But in my opinion, I think the build making does do a lot. And I think it has led to a lot of people playing because they want to try something new or they want to figure something out. So I'm just throwing in a 4th kind of build making as a whole, but it kind of ties into PvP and PvE. Now, in my opinion, some people could argue there's some things missing from there, right? But in my honest opinion, they're missing for a reason, right? I think Deepwoken could definitely get there, and it could flourish at it so crazy. Number 5 should be exploration. Should be the feeling of exploration, and that is true for the first time you play, but I think for a lot of people, it hasn't been in that top 3 for a long time. And people feel like it should be. That's why I think things like the Void Sea update and people want Central Lumen. Why do you think so many people want that? They want it to be in their top 3. But honestly, I don't think it is. I don't think it is for the current state of the game right now. It's not really a top 3 thing that people are hopping on Deepwoken to do. They're not hopping to explore, really, right? And that could be something that could very well happen, but it would take a lot of dedication. So I'm not throwing it on there, right? But like as I was saying, right, explaining what I think could be in a nice boss update. New boss, obviously. Let's just say it's one of the new bosses. Some new system. It can be very small to start off with, but something that feels like the player can kind of interact with and kind of see, okay, I can add this onto my build. Oh, this changes up the game a little bit. Somehow makes it feel like everybody can be involved. New build items in general. Obviously, the boss can have stuff, right? And then small world building. This is important. Small world building, right? We saw a lot of this in Layer 2. Ilcher did a lot of this, in my opinion. I remember interacting with her about it. A lot of small things that to this day, obviously, they might not matter that much, right? But it's like, for example, the motherfucker who could give you, like, they could add on to that stuff very easily. The motherfucker, you know, like the guy with the bag on his back. Yo, I'll give you a random piece of shit item for 300 notes. Now, obviously, nothing in there right now is good. But you see, like, that sort of small world building, there's so many things you could do. You could add a quest to that shit, right? Imagine one day, like, you see a freshie talk to motherfucker. Oh, wait, there's another line of dialogue here. Hey, look, I know I always look for junk, but honestly, I will give you 30,000 notes. Oh, no, I actually, no, not even, I'll give you X one. Fluff, if I want you to look for this rare exclusive collectible. And it's like, okay, it's like, they make an interesting quest out of that because the motherfucker has random things in his bag, right? Well, why do you have random things in your bag? Let's hear about it. Small world building. You see what I mean, right? They build into that. Maybe it has to do with the authority. Maybe it's an item that's in Central Luminant when they add it eventually. Oh, do you see what I mean, right? But small world building, stuff like that, I think people say it doesn't really matter so much. A lot of people focus on these especially, but I think that it does matter. And I think there are people who appreciate it, and it'll show the game's quality over time, all right, when you have stuff like that. And people can end up trying to figure out stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, there's this NPC, and I think people like that, right? I think people really do like that. I think it's underlooked, but I think it matters a lot. And so this is what I want to see most that drops with a new boss. I hope they're able to do it. You know, if it's missing some parts of it, that's fine.
If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to go click on these other videos, man. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.